When you work on your dreams, your wish dies in seconds, your desire dies in minutes, your motivation dies in days, inspiration dies in months, but discipline never dies. When you're working on your dreams, relatives, your friends don't believe in you. They see no hope in your future. That very time, discipline lifts you up from the dust, it takes you airborne, above the clouds, above the storms if you let it. Discipline is the extremely important quality, but people got it wrong. First point, discipline requires patience. Second, discipline is not an event, it is a process. No patience, no discipline. Actually, we usually get motivated by the speech or a song, and then we try to build a body or try to learn a language. But after a month, we give up. Why we are giving up? Because we are putting patience out of the picture, and you are acting on your motivation. You are not putting your brains in it, understanding it that what will really take to achieve this particular skill. What we are misunderstanding nowadays is that discipline requires patience. And nobody talks about it. I have seen the interviews of hundreds of successful people, athletes, movie stars, entrepreneurs, but nobody talks about patience. Everyone talks about, yeah, we had a wish, we believed in ourselves, I was inspired, I was motivated, I got up early. All these things are being advised nowadays, but nobody talks about discipline, or nobody talks about patience, which is why we are said to be impatient generation now. And this is what is coming across our path when you are building discipline. Any person who has a poster-like body, he worked for years. Any person who mastered a foreign language worked for years. When you understand this fact, the hard pill to swallow, that achievement takes time. When you understand this fact, you see everything in a different light. You become less anxious, less worried. You compete less, you compare less, you complain less, and you enjoy your journey. And you build discipline. All these things happen because of patience. When you put patience out of the picture, you try to move on your dream immediately and you get frustrated, anxious, worried, and lastly you quit. Which is why the important factor is patience. No patience, no discipline. And people got wrong about it. I personally started my journey. I have been following my path. I personally started my journey with Herculean motivation. I kept myself inspired all the time by reading about my heroes. But nothing stopped me from being stressed out. What stopped me was this understanding that achievement takes time. Mastery takes time. Building things takes time. Whatever the dream you're trying to achieve, that will take time. When you understand this fact, then welcome to the world of discipline. Second point, discipline is not an event, it is a process. At no point in life you can say that I am disciplined. What you can say is that I am being disciplined. If it is your health, relationships or business, you have to follow discipline for the rest of your life. And that too every day, probably for 100 years. You have to follow discipline, never-ending process. And the potential you reach is also infinite. Nobody knows which world record you break. If you are considering discipline as an event, then you will look for achievement. And if you see that the feelings of achievements are fleeting, they pass away like this. But if you are keeping larger picture in the mind, and then building discipline towards your goals, working day in, day out, when you understand this fact, that time you build discipline. Which is why I first talked about patience. People put patience out of the picture and they don't consider discipline as a process. They consider it as an event. Which is why they look for achievements so soon. We have to understand that it's a process and we have to keep at it every single day. On this journey, you will enjoy this journey, not only enjoy, but you will achieve astonishingly good things. And that too, while being less anxious, less worried, and you will enjoy your journey, you will be happy. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to the channel for becoming a leader in your life. Thank you very much.